Imagine, take your wildest dream and make it a reality. Make it not a dream anymore. Make it something that's real. Bring it to fruition. Tell yourself you're a star.
Peace, peace, peace. Choose to inspire, not destroy podcast, and we're back.
Austin.
Yo, yo, yo. Choose to inspire, not destroy.
Peace, peace, peace. Choose to inspire, not destroy podcast, episode 20, and we're back. I got my guys with me, Ryon, Kofi, I'm G. Last but not least, we got a special guest in the building, Christopher, my guy, my firstborn. You know, he's here. He's showing love. He's inspired. He wants to come on. He's not joining the show or replacing Brandon. Oh, B, shout out to you, King. I know you tuned in. Hope everything is peace with you. You know, we still in touch and we still in tune. Christopher, thank you for joining us and wanting to be a part of the show, man, and share some things and build with us, man. I appreciate it. And I want to welcome you. So welcome. Thank you. Fellas, what's up? How y'all doing? It's good to be sitting down talking to y'all again.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up? All is good.
That's great. Yeah.
Nice. Pardon me, if you've been with us before, welcome back. Thank you for still sticking with us, you know, and rocking with us and enjoying the movement. Hopefully we providing good content and we're moving in the right direction. If this is your first time, thanks for giving us a shot. You're welcome. You're in a safe place and we appreciate you giving us a chance and seeing what we got to offer. So today we're talking about another side of mental health, I guess you could say, because we started out trying to focus on mental health and addressing some issues like that. But I feel like we've been neglecting something that's very important to us as men. This one is kind of specifically directed to the fellas out there that you don't go to the doctor, you don't really take care of your body the way you're supposed to, and you kind of just you neglect yourself. You know, you walk around and you want to be Superman and you act like you can't be weak and vulnerable and let people know what you're going through and you feel like there's some sort of pride and honor in just dealing with your situation. But you don't think about how that affects the people around you. You don't think about how it affects your family and how it affects you and how it takes a toll on your mental health also in the process. So I just want to know how the fellas feel about going to the doctor. You know, do they get checkups regularly? How do they deal with their ailments and the stuff going on with them? And we got the young fella in the building. So I want to hear what he got to say too, because I know his story. I'm very familiar and hopefully he'll share some of that with us and we just get some good content. So fellas, what y'all think, man?
So I'll start. I try to go to the doctor for checkups 4 times a year, honestly, because I am neurotic about the unspoken or quote unquote undetectable cancers that you don't find out until you're in like stage 4, like pancreatic cancer and all of that. I not hassled, but like I hounded my primary care who does my physicals. I'm like, there's got to be a test for all this stuff, and she's like, yeah, you just have to pay for it because your normal blood work and all of that, like they don't like ask for that, or like the insurance doesn't necessarily outright cover it unless it's ordered by the doctor based on like that blood work, that something seems irregular, then the doctor can order it. But if you wanted a part of the normal blood work, then you have to ask for it, and sometimes you have to pay for it. And I'm like, $300 for that, or hearing you got stage 4 cancer and you're only gonna live 6 months. I'd gladly pay $300 4 times a year, honestly. And you know, that stems from just being around people that have passed, that have always, to your point, been like, no, I'm good, or won't tell you the truth when they're not feeling well or whatever, and then seeing what happens, what that eventually leads to at the end of their life. Like stuff that wasn't a big deal in the beginning, had they just said something early on that could have been rectified, ends up being what does them in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, why they have to live a certain way at the end of their life because, you know, it was pride that took over. So I go 4 times a year. I don't care. I want my primary care physician to say stuff to me like, you're back? What are you worried about this time? I'm worried about everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like everything. Like, I mean, the last time I was there, I was like, yeah, what's the test for brain tumors? And she's like, why do you think you have a brain tumor? I'm like, I don't think I have one. I just want to start getting tested to make sure that that joint doesn't creep up, because how many times do you hear people having inoperable brain tumors? And it's like, it had to start out the size of a pebble at some point, right? And then it became the size of a football. Like, I don't want you to catch it when it's the size of a football. So she told me that actually the best way to figure out if you have a brain tumor, or the best way to detect it early on, is go and get your eyes checked regularly, because they can image the back of your eyes, obviously they're connected to your brain, and they can tell if there's a shadow or something. It's like, good to know. Now I go and get my eyes checked 3 times a year.
Yeah, that's good info. I didn't know that. I didn't know that you could find that out by having that test done.
Right. Neither did I.
I was about to say you paranoid and you just like you tested for stuff that there's no shot that you got right away. But I mean, it's better to be safe than sorry, so I respect it 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I also, I'm putting into my will for my wife, before, she can pull the plug. She has to check with Elon Musk to make sure that he hasn't figured out a way to take the brain and upload the consciousness into like a computer or something. Like, that's the only provision I have before you can pull the plug.
You want to
that still won't be you. That's just gonna be your consciousness.
That your consciousness is you,
Yeah.
right?
No, you're still missing your soul.
But how do you know your consciousness isn't your soul?
All right, I don't want to get off the topic. All right. We gonna get into this whole thing.
No, but I mean, like, that's how neurotic I am about it. I'm like, we got a car orbiting the planet. I'm sure you can upload my brain into something else. So,
Ryon, you go to the doctor regularly?
Nah, I'm a bit old-fashioned, bro. I'm born Jamaican, raised islands, raised with island people. So how can I say it? Me personally, I end up in the doctor regularly because of my job, right? But if I was to go to the doctor regularly, no. Before my current job, I wasn't going to the doctor regularly. I'm old-fashioned in the sense where everything gets taken care of at home. If I can't find something with ginger, if I can't find something with aloe, if I can't find something that grows in a bush somewhere to take care of this remedy, then I don't need it. Like, I'm not one to get regularly sick. I don't really catch anything. Knock on wood, because I'm just my trust in, it's not trust in modern medicine, it's trust in modern people. You know what I mean? And the way how things tie out and the way how things play out. And we could go all into conspiracy theories, but that's me. I don't deal with Pfizer. I don't deal with any of these big companies that are in it for the money. I like holistic shit. So let me just hold on.
For those of you who don't know, while Ryon is doing whatever he's doing, he's in the hold on for 1 second, Ryon, hold on for 1 second. Let me give the people some context. Hold on for 1 second. Let me give the people some context, because you said because of your job you go to the doctor, you have to go to the doctor, whatever. For those of you who don't know, Ryon is in the adult entertainment industry, and he has to get regular checkups to make sure that he's not out there, banging and slanging the wrong way, All right, Ryon, go ahead, bro.
I'll take that one. So basically, I go to the gym regularly. I got my little elderberry shit. I got my little Dr. Zebi book around here. Got my vitamin D, whatever. And these are just supplements. I don't even think all this shit works, but I find it in like things that I eat. I just try to make sure, not saying I'm the most healthiest person, but I try to make sure I continue a balance, so I don't end up in the hospital or having to deal with these people. Now, if I need to go to the hospital, I'm not against it. If there's something absolutely that I can't fix, or I find like there's something that I need to go to the hospital for, because none of this shit is working, then I'm gonna go. But for the most part, I can't say I'm like Kofi. I'm not worried about any of that stuff. I'm just not. I just don't want to put myself. I come from a history where too, like, a lot of my family members, I find them getting into like, and like sick. Like, one minute I see them fine, like George, I see you fine one day, right? Yeah. And the minute they visit the hospital, like Kofi, all of a sudden, they got diagnosed with cancer and pre-stage tumor, whatever. And then 2 weeks after that, They look sick as shit. And I'm like, bro, you was just fine questioning yourself, a week ago, and you look fine. And the minute they started the treatment, everybody looks like they came from Zombieland. You know what I mean? So I get it. I may be old fashioned. I may be wrong, but that's just my opinion. That's just how I handle things. I'll self medicate with some natural stuff until I absolutely need to go, and that's just me.
So, can I jump in for a sec?
Yeah.
Completely understand, and that's a perspective that a lot of people share. I'm going to share a video with you guys really quickly of somebody that I grew up with, who was very close to. He was like a 6th-degree black belt, believed in only holistic healing and medicine. I'm going to play this video really quick of him doing a crazy workout, and this is him, this is a couple of years ago. Actually, it's 11 years ago, but he was the same all through life, right?
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to tell you a quick story about him. So he, again, would train people martial arts wise. Let me make this full screen for you. There you go. And I can show you countless photos of him in his gi without his shirt, like ripped, but you wouldn't even know it because he's ripped like Bruce Lee was ripped, where it was very subtle. And then he took off his shirt and you're like, oh, I'm fighting a robot. And this is just him casual workout talking to people also.
And what happened to him? Would he be okay with being on this? I don't know. Can we get sued for that or something?
So we got a call. Actually, we got a call from a close friend, and then it was on Facebook. He was in the hospital for something, and something unrelated. He never liked going to the doctor, never liked getting checkups, none of that. And he ended up with stage 4 lung cancer and died 2 weeks later. Withered away. Like, most in-shape person I've ever known. Completely, like, I hear what you're saying about holistic healing and all that. Like, that was his jam. Like, no pork, nothing. Like, just holistic healing, completely into martial arts. And was like, I don't need to go and see doctors. I don't like doctors anyway.
But that's the shit I'm talking about. He went to the hospital, and then all of a sudden, that's the same thing that I say happened with, like, family members I know. They'll be like, you and me talking right now. And the minute I feel like, something is wrong, let me go to the hospital. All of a sudden, I come out the fucking hospital with something extra, and I'm dead 2 weeks later on. Or I look like I'm deteriorating. That's what I just said.
But those types of things don't just appear, man. Like you could be walking around with something, a tumor growing, and you have no idea until it starts affecting something that you pay attention to, and then you're like, oh shit, it's too late.
But let me ask you a question. What do you say deteriorates your body? Is it the treatment that they're not too secure in? Or because, mind you, you're walking around with that tumor or something that you have no idea about, but you're still talking the way how you and I are talking. We still appear fine. We still, moving healthy. However, we're not healthy on the inside. But the minute we go to the hospital and the hospital verifies we're not healthy on the inside and they start to treat you, that's when you start to look like a fucking zombie. So I'm like, what are you doing wrong?
Here's the difference in what you're saying, though. He chose not to get treatment and left the hospital and ended up dying 2 weeks later. They're like, yo, you have stage 4 lung cancer. We can treat it. And he was like, nah. So another example, my grandmother didn't know that she had colon cancer the first time until she was having trouble using the bathroom. Went in, found out that she had a tumor that was blocking her bowels and she couldn't use the bathroom and they had to do surgery. So I get the aspect of holistic healing, and I think holistic is great as preventative maintenance, right? Eating the right stuff, making sure you're not putting the terrible things in your body. But when it comes down to you getting diagnosed with stuff, I don't know. I tend to lean more towards actual medicine at that point.
I don't know. Yeah. I feel like some of these doctors are on the string with some of the stuff that are being pushed out as medicine. A lot of the doctors, when they're prescribing certain things, are only going by what they read, what their background is in reference to, say Pfizer releases something and sends it to the medical field, right? It's almost like what do you call that? Like door-to-door shop. Like when the door salesman comes and be like, hey, we got this new shit that's going to cure AIDS. And they sell it to the doctor, and the doctor just reciprocates exactly what this door-to-door salesman told them. You know what I mean? It's not like they're doing their own genetic research or anything like that. They're just saying this and this should fight this because it came from a medical pharmaceutical company, and we're gonna stand by it. But they don't even have the checks and balances behind it. Like,
Well, they have lab stuff.
Kofi, not
no.
to cut you off. Hold on for 1 second, because I want Christopher to get a chance to speak from a younger perspective and say how he feel about it and what he think, and also rest in peace to the guy who video you showed, Kofi. Condolences to his family. Sorry for your loss. You know, if you just so happen to see this, you know, the example was just to show that you need to try and be aware and pay attention to the warning signs if there are warning signs. That's all. Like we're not professionals. We can't say exactly what you should and should not do, but just try and be aware, because once you're not here anymore, there are people that you leave behind that truly cared about you, and it's just a sad situation. So Christopher, man, like, what do you think about going to the doctor?
So for me, being a part of the generation I'm in, we don't go to the doctor. We don't get checkups or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that. And it's not out of like being against the doctor, being suspicious of it. It's more just we just don't. Like me personally, if I'm speaking about me, I've kind of been going with the I'll just walk it off mentality. Like, oh, if there's like a pain or something like that, or if I'm sore or anything like that, or a headache or really anything, I don't really like involving the doctor or feeling like I need to go to the doctor or the hospital for anything. It's like, all right, it'll go away in a few days and I'll just walk it off. And I don't like taking anything like Advil or anything like that. I'm just against anything affecting like it. Like I'd rather just be like, all right, you know what, I don't feel like this. I'll sleep, but that's the most I'll do. I won't want to go and do anything medical with it.
Now, I'm sorry, but you know what we do here on this show, right? You know we're completely transparent. You know we don't hold back, and we fully express ourselves. So I got to put a little bit of your business out there, son, and don't feel disrespected. But I've been
Not at
there
all.
throughout the process, and how dealing with lymphedema, you know, which is something where the fluid in your lymph nodes doesn't flow properly, and
Oh,
it
I get it.
settles. It settles somewhere. So you know, that's what I mean. Like that's why I wanted
Yeah,
to
yeah,
know
yeah.
how you feel about it, because you know the history of what we had to go through, and me
Yeah, yeah,
taking you
yeah.
to physical therapy twice a week for a very long time to get your leg to look normal. Because if you don't do what you need to do, you don't wear the bandage, you don't wear the stockings, you don't do the therapy that you need to do continuously for the rest of your life, that fluid will settle and your leg will not function properly. So to hear you say you just want to walk it off, this and that, I get it, and I could be partially responsible for that because I deal with a lot of things that I just deal with. But you need to be aware that what you deal with now, you pay for later. So that's the only reason why I'm putting you on the spot, son. Like, it's not to try and make you look crazy or anything, but it's just to make you aware that these are some things that you need to keep in mind. You're not going to be young forever. You're going to get older and things are going to change. Your body is going to start moving in a different direction.
So to kind of explain what you touched on with like lymphedema and everything, it's for me personally, I was born with it, so it's just an issue with my lymph nodes, and the fluid just doesn't move the proper way. So it'll just end up settling in one spot of the body, and it'll just cause it to swell. And it can happen in different places or anything like that. It can happen as a result of like treatments and things like that. Because I've looked it up to try and understand it more. But I was born with mine. So since mine was that particular one, there wasn't any like a surgery or anything they could do, because when it's caused by a treatment, you can get a surgery done and they can take lymph nodes from another part and try and replace them to fix it. But for me, they said I would just have to do physical therapy, which we did. It was a struggle having to go so often and do like exercises, and there was wraps and everything like that. It was a struggle for sure, but it helped. It definitely did help. And at the time, it was like, oh, I don't care. It's like I'm doing this just because he's making me do it. I don't want to do this. This is taking too much time, or it's too much effort. And I'd say now I'm more conscious of it. I still wouldn't say like I'm thinking about it every day and everything like that. But that more comes from me wanting to feel like there's like nothing even wrong at all. So it's like if I wrap it, yeah, like I'll have it wrapped up. I got compression things like that to try and keep it under control. But most of the trying to ignore it and trying not to have anything done for it comes from me wanting to just be like, nah, it's not that it's not an issue because I know it is. It comes from me wanting to be like, oh, like there's nothing going on. Like I'm good. Like it's not an issue in that sense. But it definitely is a struggle, and it's just something I gotta deal with. Like it's not like oh I need to be alarmed or anything. I just need to actually take care of myself, and that's what they said at physical therapy. Like they can't really give me a treatment for it. I just gotta be on top of it, and I gotta make sure I'm being mindful of what I wear and keeping it wrapped up and stuff like that. So it's
I get it, and respect to you, King. Like I'm not gonna
Mhm.
make it seem like you're neglectful and you haven't done what you were supposed to because that was years ago. Like I think you were in junior high school or something like that, and you were tasked with the responsibility of rushing home right after school so we could go to the city for you to get your therapy, and we did that twice a week, man. Like on the regular Tuesday and Thursday we made that move and you stuck with wrapping your leg and doing the exercises. Those are things that I couldn't do for you. All I could do was take you. So you carried the burden and the responsibility of taking care of yourself, and I just want you to continue to do that. That's all. Like it's only your health that I'm worried about and I'm concerned with. And you said exactly what I feel like is the issue. People just want to ignore the signs. They want to pretend like it's not there, it's not happening, and it's not really a thing, and maybe it'll go away, but it's not gonna go away. It's just gonna get worse.
Mhm.
another big part of it though is not even ignoring it in the idea that it'll go away or that it's not there. It's with people like issues like if you went online and looked up like on Google, you typed in lymphedema and went on images, there's people like I wouldn't say mine is nothing, to be alarmed at, but it's noticeable if you really pay attention and know what you're looking for. But there's people that have it a lot worse, and for them, if they don't do anything for it, it doesn't come from like, oh, it's not there, it'll go away. It's more so people just don't want to acknowledge it because it's like they don't want to feel like people are looking at it. So if they feel like if they shut it out and try to act as normal as possible, everybody else looks and be like, oh, it's nothing there. They won't notice. So a lot of people look at it like, oh, I'm not going to do nothing. I'm not going to bring any attention to it because they don't want other people to look at them some kind of way for it. When it's really just it's a medical thing. It's not something that you like chose to have. It's not something that like if it's there, it's there, and you just gotta take care of it. Like you can't just ignore it because you feel like other people will look at it. It's a part of who you are at a certain point.
I
100%.
actually did look it up on Google because I just wanted a little bit more, what do you call it, background on it. Um, yeah, but to say, I'm not somebody that ignores health problems. I just go about treating them differently. You know, to add on to what you were saying, G. No way, shape, or form I ignore anything that's going on with my body, but I treat it differently before I jump on the bandwagon of medical modern medicine because modern medicine is not completely there yet. We've been treating cancer with chemo radiation for how long, and we already know that's not a solve. In fact, in a lot of cases, that is proven to like worsen cancer. You know what I mean? Radiation. That's the side of it. Your hair starts falling out. All these things. I went to school with female. I don't even know if she's still alive today. That was going through chemo radiation every single time, and they would be like, "Oh, your cancer is in remission," or "Your cancer is gone," and then next thing you know, from hair starts growing back, but the cancer comes back. I just don't think we're there yet with modern medicine, and I also feel like it's some parts of it is a ruse. Like it's a money grab thing. And until we're actually here to treat people and actually here to find out cures for shit and not bullshit people around and be like, hey, I got this new medicine. It's better than the generic brand or better than this. Like, I'm not with until I actually have to be in the hospital. I feel like the earth is here and there's a lot of treatments that we don't know that comes from regular everyday things that grows around us, and we just need to find these things out. That's it. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor, but I don't think we're there yet. And I
That's
think
that.
we're
That's
what's up?
fair. That's fair. I agree with you. Like I partially agree with you. I think the part where I disagree is like emotionally. I think I feel the same way with you, and kind of when I just think about it, it's like I do think it's a money grab. I think a lot of times when they're sending you a whole bunch of different places, it's just to hit your insurance like crazy. I think some tests are not necessary or unnecessary, whatever the term is, but I think some of it is helpful. And when I say it's helpful, I'm speaking from the side of experiencing those things, like
Uh-huh.
of going through a process of having headaches damn near every day. Taking Tylenol PM to be able to lay down and go to sleep damn near every single day, and just knowing that something is going on but not going to the doctor because it was like, okay, I still look normal, I'm still functioning, and I'm okay for the most part on the outside, and I don't want nobody to know what's going on with me, so I'm keeping it to myself. And it was one night I woke up and I was trying to like pull my tooth out. Like the pain I was in was so crazy. I was reaching in the back of my mouth and I was just tugging at this tooth, but the tooth wasn't loose, but it was just killing me for some reason. So I went to the doctor the next day, and the guy, I tell him what's going on. They take some x-rays or whatever. He leaves the room. I'm waiting. He comes back with a smile on his face. And he's like, dude, you're not going to believe this. This is so cool. Your wisdom tooth is growing in backwards. So it's pushing down on your gum. Instead of coming outward, it's growing in the wrong direction. And that's why like you're having headaches and you're having this pain or whatever. So I'm like, all right, like that's a cool story. It's something to tell people. So he leaves.
Wisdom tooth pain is the worst shit that you ever go through.
Yeah, no, it was terrible. It really was terrible. But I was like, when you tell people, when you say that to people, like, yeah, my wisdom tooth was growing in the wrong direction, it sounds different. So he leaves the room, right? And when he leaves the room, he's like, wait here, because he wasn't the doctor. He's like, wait here, the doctor will be in to see you in a little bit. I'm waiting. The doctor comes back, but it's not one doctor. Now it's 3 doctors, and they all got white coats, and they all got looks on their face. And it's like, okay, all of this for a wisdom tooth? Like, I know it sounds cool to me, but damn. So they're like, what's going on with you? How have you been feeling? What's the deal? The whole spiel of what's going on. So I told them, and they said, well, look, you have a tumor in your jaw that's shattering your bone. That it's basically damn near the whole right side of your face, and we don't understand why your face isn't swollen like out to here. We don't understand how you walked in here. So you have to have a biopsy to see if you have cancer. We don't know what's going on. You could potentially have cancer. Immediately it's the tears. Now it's like, wait, damn. I've been walking around like this for forever. I've been functioning. I've been working out. My life has been going forward, but the Tylenol PM and sleeping it off and dealing with the headaches every day and throwing up because of the headaches, all of that was a part of the warning signs, the signals to be like, dog, this is not normal. This is not how healthy people feel. So when you're going through this, you need to find out what you're going through. The tumor didn't start out a certain size. It developed and it grew as I prolonged my treatment and my process. And where I agree with you, though, Ryon, where you say it's a money grab, is they looked me in my face and they said, you could have cancer. You need to have this biopsy. Stop eating hard foods, no bagels, nothing that you have to chew too much because your jaw is so sensitive that it could just shatter at any minute. Like, we don't know what will cause it. Don't chew gum, no sports, no nothing. Basically walk around in a bubble and be a shell of yourself. And they said this to me and they said, do you have insurance? And at the time I didn't have insurance. And they said, all right, you can apply for this insurance, but we can't do anything for you until you get some insurance. So they sent me out into the world, and it's like, wait, I could have cancer. I could potentially be dying or die, and because I don't have a card or something for you to charge, I don't deserve care or I don't deserve treatment. So that's where I agree with you, Ryon. So I'm on both sides of the fence. I'm kind of devil's advocate. You need to get checked out. You need to find out what's going on with you. And I feel like the system is cheating us a lot also.
No, definitely. I feel like the system is cheating. I feel like we're not as modern as we are. We're still not there to understand everything. Just like you said, 3 doctors in white coats came inside your room, right? 3 doctors said they're not sure why your drug. That alone says you're not sure. You're not sure. A lot of doctors have been wrong in diagnosing certain things before. You know what I mean? Like I'm not full-fledged pharmaceutical company. I'm not full-fledged, modern medicine. I'm not against it, but until I get to that point, I'm gonna try to do whatever I can to keep my body naturally healthy and naturally fit. And that's it. That's it. I'm not gonna be the first one. And it's nothing against Kofi, where you get your eyes checked out, every 4 times a year. It's nothing against him, because to each his own. It's just that I just,
It's not for you.
Yeah,
It's not for you. Like, I can respect that. It's not for you.
I mean, I take the approach, if you've got the insurance, take advantage of it, because there are 1,000 people that wish they had insurance or a subsidy for their insurance that would take advantage of it. So if you got it and you're blessed with
I still pay copays. I pay copays. Yes, I got the insurance, but you know how much my dental shit cost me, and I'm supposed to have like the best dental ever. Like, man, listen. I get it, Kofi. Though I understand where you're coming from. Just being
$100 now or $10. Your choice. I'll give you another real world example. So, like 3 years ago, I was going for a normal checkup, and the whole run of the mill blood work, all of that. And they give me an EKG, and the doctor at the time was like, "Oh, that's weird." So he gives me another EKG, and he's like, "I want you to go to this heart specialist because your EKG looks weird." I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" He showed me the EKG, and instead of it being a T wave, it's a negative T wave. He's like, "What that tells me is you're having a heart attack right now." And he's like, "You're obviously not having a heart attack right now." He's like, "But I did this twice and it's coming back that way." And he's like, "I'm not the heart specialist, but I can tell you that there's something going on. It's either electromagnetic with your heart, or there's something going on with just your heart in general, outside of the flow of electricity." So I go to the heart
Magneto.
Huh?
You're Magneto.
Yeah. So I go to the heart specialist, and he does the EKG, normal checkup like you would when you go and see a heart specialist. And then he's like, "Yeah, this doesn't look right." So then he's like, "I have an idea of what it could be, but I want to send you to someone who's like a leader in the field to make sure that like what my diagnosis would be matches what his is." So I go to New Haven, and I see this guy, and he runs similar tests, but then I'm getting like an MRI and a few other things done. They're injecting me with like a dye to measure where the dye goes around the heart and how the blood flows in and out of the valves and all of that. And then I do a genetic test also. And ultimately, what comes back is I'm in this gray area with this diagnosis, which is cardiomyopathy, where it's a slight thickening of the muscle around your heart, whether it's the entire muscle or part of the muscle. When that gets thick and your heart has to work a little bit harder, your EKGs come out different, right? Kind of like a heart attack, where your heart just starts pumping really fast and then it kind of just like gives out. Now, it's similar to athlete's heart, where they work out so much and they're constantly active, the muscle around their heart naturally becomes thick, right? Like if you were to measure your heart, the thickness of the muscle around your heart versus LeBron James' heart, it would be 2 different measurements, because it's expected his to be thicker because his heart is pumping a lot more because of the type of activity he does. So the problem with the diagnosis, though, is I don't meet the criteria 100%. So like, let's say the thickness criteria is 5 centimeters, right? And to be there, you have to be at like 5 centimeters. And your heart is normally at like 1 centimeter, right? The thickness of the muscle. I'm at 2. But to be diagnosed with it, you need to be at that 5 number. And they're like, this could have come from a cold that you had when you were a baby, a chest cold, some type of infection that was around the heart. And they're like, did you suffer any of that? And I'm like, I don't remember any of that. I don't think so. So the reason I think it's prudent, especially in my case, to constantly go and get checked is because when you go to get a physical and you go and get blood work done, it's like taking a photo. It's a snapshot in time. So a photo or the beginning point in a graph doesn't mean anything unless you have the rest of the dots that come after it. So you can see if you're trending up, if you're trending down, or if you're trending sideways. So now I not only have my physical that I do 4 times a year, but I go and see the heart doctor twice a year, and they run the same test that they ran the last time to see if there was any changes in it. Because literally, if it hasn't changed, then they're closer to leaning towards, oh, it was probably an infection that you had in your heart. But I say all of that to say, had I hadn't gone to get the physical and allowed the doctor to do an EKG, I'd have been walking around thinking that like shit was all well and sweet, and then I can drop dead. Now, I am not limited to any activity because there hasn't been any change in what I do and change in the actual.
So let me ask you a question. When they did that, they didn't prescribe you anything. They didn't tell you anything. You just naturally continued going, and there was nothing else wrong with you, correct?
So, hold on. The initial doctor was like, first of all, I was like super unhealthy at the time. I needed to lose weight. I was like borderline. I was pre-diabetic. And my cholesterol was out of control. So already off the jump, when my doctor got back my blood work, he was like, I want to put you on, cholesterol medicine, and you need to stop eating, the not processed foods, but all the carbs that you're eating because it's taking your A1C and it's throwing it up there. So he was already looking at that. And then he did the EKG as a full checkup. And he was like, there's something wrong with your heart as well. So because of the diagnosis, it was you need to come back every year because we don't feel it's right to put you on medication for something or give you a treatment for that when you don't meet the criteria. It's something for us to monitor moving forward. So that way, if it goes from 2 centimeters to 3 centimeters, then we know that you're trending in that direction and we can start to prepare you for whatever treatment you may need. But the fact that we have a snapshot of where it is and we can see it's not getting bigger, or it's not getting smaller, maybe you were born that way. What compiles that is the genetic testing, and the genetic testing says that I carry 1 gene. You need 2, but I carry 1 gene for cardiomyopathy also. But it's never ran in my family. My father doesn't have any heart problems. My mother didn't have any heart problems. So
what about your grandma, grandparents? Because it could skip genes.
They've had no problem. So with that, it gives them an insight to say, all right, he already carries 1 gene and his heart is slightly thick. This could be a coincidence, but it's something for us to monitor. And it's on my doctor's physical chart every time I go and see her. She's like, have you seen your doctor? What did he say? I'm doing an EKG. Nothing's changed. It's cool. I carry around a little card with me that says, I'm not having a heart attack. I just have a weird thickening of a part of the heart muscle. So don't hook me up to the electroshock if I pass out, because I'm not dying. I'm probably passing out from something else.
Yo, Christopher, I hate to put you on the spot, dog, but you about to be banned from the show because I see you looking like you falling asleep. I understand this is a little heavy for you, dog, and it's a lot to process. When I show you the footage back, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I get it. Yeah, you looking crazy right now. So I'm trying to save you. I'm throwing you a bone, and I really wanted you to be a part of this episode because I met this guy, right? This older man. He was from Indiana. He was super cool. I think his name was Dave. And we were talking, like we were having a real conversation. And for some reason, he felt like he could share some stuff with me that was really personal. And it was our first exchange. It was our first time meeting. I didn't know him. He didn't know me. And he was telling me how he used to be really close to his dad. And now they're not as close. His dad is suffering from dementia. And he didn't take care of himself. And he struggled with diabetes, and he had both of his legs amputated because he didn't take care of his diabetes. He really didn't manage it properly. He didn't go to the doctor the way he was supposed to. He didn't take his medicine. He just didn't do all of the things that come with having that illness. And he was really hurt and he was upset. And I took a step back and I looked at it and I was like, okay, this is a grown man telling me this about his dad, and it's something that I'm struggling with. So to be transparent and just be clear, I have type 2 diabetes, and it's something that I struggle with. It takes a toll. It's depressing. It's very frustrating dealing with it. But I didn't want my children to one day be saying the same things about me. I looked at it more from a perspective as he was a man now, and his relationship with his father was strained because his father didn't do the things that he felt like he needed him to do. But at the same time, people need to understand that it takes a little more than just doing what they think you need to be doing. It's a mental toll. It's taxing on you to have to consistently watch what you eat, to consistently take medicine, to consistently just be on guard of the things that could destroy your body. It's something that's always working against you. So that's why I wanted you to be a part of this, Christopher, because I wanted you to understand that what you do now counts. I'm aware that what I do now counts. I'm aware of who's watching and who I'm doing it for. And when I was originally diagnosed with diabetes, I took it for a joke. And I just want to tell this quick story so it's really clear that you can't play games with it. Like, it's going to beat you every single time. If you think you can cheat it, don't. So I went to the doctor. The doctor tells me, you got diabetes. Short story. You got diabetes. Okay, cool. Whatever. She don't know what she's talking about. I just lost 65, 70 pounds. Like, if I take my shirt off in here, she'll feel crazy telling me that. Like, she must have got somebody else's blood. It can't be mine. Fast forward, I get home. Now I'm maybe subconsciously testing the water because I'm eating candy I don't usually eat. I don't eat chocolates like that. Now I'm eating chocolates. I'm going to the supermarket. Toaster strudels is on sale. I'm buying toaster strudels. I'm doing all of this nonsense. And slowly, I start having to use the bathroom a lot. Like, I'm on the train. I got to get off before it's my stop to try and find a bathroom. I'm running to my job at the time. I was commuting from Jersey to Manhattan. It was a real interesting situation. I'm losing weight. I'm just feeling funny, but I'm not checking my blood sugar. And you're supposed to check your blood sugar on the regular. You're supposed to monitor what's going on with your body. I'm not checking. I'm not even considering checking. And all of these things are happening to the point of I bought a urinal. So in my house, my bedroom is on the upper level, the top, and the bathroom is all the way in the basement. I couldn't even make it to the basement to go to the bathroom. It was getting really serious. I'm super thirsty. I'm drinking all the time. My vision is blurry. I'm talking to Austin one day and I'm like, Austin, look at me when I talk to you. And he's like, I am looking at you. I wake up one morning, I come downstairs, I look at the microwave. I can't read the time on the microwave. It's just neon green. Like, I can't read it at all. I feel like I'm about to pass out. I go to the hospital. My wife takes me to the hospital. She tells them what's going on. No, pardon me. I check my blood sugar. My blood sugar is extremely high. Way, way, way too high. So now it's hospital time. I don't know what to do. Go to the hospital, tell them what's going on. They take me to the back immediately. It was no wait. Hook me up to an IV, check my blood sugar, start hitting me with insulin. I'm tired, I'm weak. My vision won't come back properly. I'm just feeling crazy. And the doctor says, well, you could fall into a diabetic coma, right? You're playing with fire. Do you want to die? Simple as that. What do you want to happen to you? Who are you living for? Which is the point of the episode. Who are you living for? At some point, yeah, I get it. You're strong, you're tough. And Ryon, this is not directed at you, dog. It's directed at me also. You're strong, you're tough, you're built for that. You can manage, you can get through. But there are some things that you're not going to beat. You can't beat it. No matter how strong, no matter how tough you are, you got to do what you got to do. Kofi, salute to you for getting checked on the regular and doing what you feel is best for you. Ryon, salute to you for at least respecting the signs and understanding that if you got to go, you got to go. And Christopher, please use me as the example. That's what I'm here for. I know you're watching. use me as the example to take care of yourself. And when you have kids, you set the example for them to take care of themselves. I don't want to be the story that you talk about, being the guy that didn't take care of himself and now he wasn't around to be there for his family the way he needs to be there for his family. I am the head and I have to lead like I'm the head. And one day you'll be the same. So it's shout out to all of y'all fellas. I appreciate y'all sharing. Thank you. And whoever out there is watching, that's the point of the show. We're not only trying to inspire you to do something you love or to love your partner or to be great in that sense. We're trying to inspire you to love yourself and to make sure you're good, to make sure you look out for yourself and to make sure you handle your business, because it's people that need you here, people that want you here. I ain't mean to go on a little rant or whatever. I'm sorry, fellas, but I felt like it was time for me to get it off. And I wanted to make sure I got that story out so everybody knew we not just up here rambling. I'm not just up here trying to make it seem like I know what I'm talking about. I'm living it. You know, the tumor thing is real. I'm still dealing with that. I don't sleep on the right side of my face. You know, I wake up and it's times that I barely could open my mouth. You know, I get depressed because my blood sugar is high one day and I might have just had a snack. And it's like, damn, I go running every day. I'm in the best shape of my life. But life is life. And you just got to deal with what you got to deal with. Somebody else jump in quick. Or should I have did the outro?
That was the perfect spot for the outro.
Nah.
Right there.
I didn't want to get. I might as well wrap it up. Wrap it up. All right. So nobody got anything else to say?
I mean, I got something for Chris. To tack on to what you were saying. Listen, I live the other side of it, right? I am very similar to the gentleman that George was talking about that, you know, had somebody that was suffering from it that didn't take care of it or hid it from the family. And like, you know, my mom didn't take care of it for the 15, 20 years that she had it. And, you know, George can tell you off camera the stories of having to go down and get her out of a coma and, you know, amputate her leg and all of that. So, you know, that could be a catalyst, but I was already on the path of getting checked out every couple of months. You know, it sucks because you don't have that. You can't get that time back. So if you can, you know, take care of yourself and take care of your father. Make sure he's doing what he needs to do. Because it can't just be me, and it can't be, you know, significant others doing it. Sometimes it's more impactful if it comes from his future, which is you.
Yeah, I mean, he knows whenever something goes on, I'm the resident nurse. I gotta do everything. I gotta make sure he's okay. Every time it's me. He's calling me every 5 seconds. But
even if it requires icy hot.
It's whatever. He need me run to the store real quick for some water. You know, I'm putting on my sneakers real quick. So
100%, my guy, always been there. I don't doubt you for a second. I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all fellas. I appreciate the audience, the inspired. Listen, we just trying to show a different side of how men think, how men talk, and how we give it up. We just trying to inspire ourselves and inspire you guys out there to be open and honest about what you're dealing with, how you're feeling, what you're going through, and lean on some people, man. Like, it's people out there that you can lean on. You don't got to fight everything on your own. You don't got to feel like you a superhero. Be a superhero by being strong enough to ask for help. There's nothing wrong with it. There's honor in that. There's honor in wanting to live. You just got to live. So whatever you do, no matter who you are, wherever you are, just be inspired. Choose to inspire, not destroy. You heard? Peace.
Yo. Choose to inspire, not destroy. Peace.